All right, so I'm here with Katan. Say hi, Katan.
Hi.
Katan is on our sales team over at Experiment 27, and usually we do role plays, which if you're in sales or trying to get better at sales, it's definitely a good idea to practice. We do role plays in the morning, a few times a week, and I thought that today it'd be cool to do a role play and have it recorded so you guys can see like a sample discovery call, how it should go if it goes well. And so on the left side of my screen here, you can see I have Pipedrive open. This is my notes where this is what I do in every single call. Before the call, if you want to watch my discovery call video, you'll see that you need to know what they do, know who they work with, and we're just gonna role play, so we're pretending. But if it was a real call, you would also reach the person, their achievements, what they do, that kind of thing, so you can be prepared. And then we're gonna run the call. So, Katan, you're gonna be, I guess, let's do the CEO of a custom software company.
I'm
All
ready.
right.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Hey, Katan, can you hear me?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, yeah. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I saw on LinkedIn that you actually invested in a multifamily rental property a while back. It's pretty cool. How do you get into real estate?
Well, actually, I was, ever since the crash, I was, you know, getting a little skeptical about the whole situation, economy and everything that I've been taught, and decided to go and learn everything on my own again, start from scratch. And I learned that real estate is probably one of the safest ways to invest and, long-term investments. And I'm also, wanted to have something, in the background, in the back burner while I'm not thinking about it. I can work on software, I can work on my company, I have something in the background. In case this doesn't work out, I have the other one. If that doesn't work out, I have this one.
Mm.
Just kind of a way of mitigating risk,
S-
and that's why I went to that.
So you like to diversify, make sure you're well diversified, protect yourself from risk. Well, real estate was probably the safest bet until people stopped paying their rent this past year, and landlords got screwed over.
Yeah.
Did that impact you?
No, it's fine because here in Canada, the government helps you out with that. The government is like, Jesus Christ coming down from the skies and giving everyone money, everyone
Oh,
paychecks.
well, if they're printing money, it's gonna come back to bite us all eventually. But in America, some landlords got screwed over because the government said people don't have to pay their rent for like months and months. So imagine you own the property and you just can't collect rent for like 6 months. I mean, that would be. But
Yeah.
long term, I want to get into real estate too. It seems like you were you living in one of the units before you got in the other one, but like renting out one and living in the other one, or how did you do that?
No, actually, I was doing well. I had my company working and everything was going well. I just wanted to have this kind of place, it's kind of a safe where I put my money in.
Mm,
I know it's growing over time,
nice.
but I was doing well. I have my own property, and I just wanted to invest somewhere else.
Right on. Awesome. Well, let's see if I can help you make some more money. I'd love to, on this call today, number one, introduce ourselves and tell you a bit about what we do, learn more about your current context and goals, and see if by the end of the call there's any way to work together. And if so, we could discuss next steps. Otherwise, it's okay too. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, sure.
And we scheduled half an hour for today's call. Is that still okay with you?
Yeah, half an hour. I have a hard stop at 8:45, so half an hour is fine.
8:45. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go first. So I'm with Experiment 27, and we are a B2B marketing company that exists to connect you with your ideal clients in a self-sustaining manner every single month via either outreach or SEO or PPC. For us, the channel does not matter so much as where your customers hang out and the results that you want to get. Long story short, over the past 5 years or so, we generated around 100 million for our clients, and that's in closed business, largely for custom software and development companies like yours. So, with that being said, I'd love to know more about your current context and goals for the coming year and what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, so for this year, what we're aiming to get at is, I would say, 10 million, right? 10 million for this year. last year we've hit 5 million, and I'm kind of struggling this year to find out how we can double. I know if I'm struggling, I shouldn't think about doubling. I should maybe go something more conservative, but I wanna grow fast. I wanna hit that 10 million so I can see what we can do next. And I'm kind of, shopping around, looking at options, speaking to people, and that's why I want to have this conversation with you. See how what your strategies are. How will this help me if this actually something that makes sense for us?
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes sense. Okay. So you did 5 million last year, and you want to hit 10 this year. Ambitious guy, looking to do that. What's your current? Are you on track? It says you said you're struggling to hit 10 million. So what is your current forecasted revenue without anything extra?
without anything, since we're completely depending on inbound, I would say probably 7 million by the end of the year. So that's not the increase I'm looking for. I mean, it's still good. It's still gonna make the team happy, and we're still scaling, but it's not as fast as I want it to be.
Okay.
Especially when I'm looking at other agencies that are doing very well. I'm kind of
Yeah.
jealous.
Okay. So in terms of, so you have a $3 million gap essentially from where you are now and where you want to be.
That's right.
Okay. One thing that's really important for us is to understand exactly what it's going to take to move the needle, focusing on results. So let's understand how many clients that is for you to fill that gap. Like, what's your average deal size, for example?
Average deal size is 100K.
100K, okay. So like 30 more clients you need.
Yeah, 30 more clients would be very, very nice to have.
I just said 30 more clients you need. That's like Yoda. 30 more clients you need. You need 30 more clients, essentially. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
could, I could, I could, I'll be very happy if I have 30.
that's like 2 to 3 more per month.
Yep,
Okay, and then
that's about it.
another important thing to consider is your close rate. So, historically, what's your close rate been with a qualified opportunity?
Yeah, since all the leads we get are inbound, I would say it's 50% to 60% close rate.
Okay.
If since from my understanding, you guys are specialized more in outbound, but I want you to tell me more about this. I'm not very experienced in this
Mm-hmm.
area, so
Yeah.
let me know how that works.
Yeah,
But
sure. I'd be happy to. Um, Outbound is definitely a good way to have consistent and predictable growth. If you want to fill your gap, it's a great way to do that. It's the most predictable, quickest way to generate new business, but more importantly, consistent business and the kind of business that can afford to pay $100,000, $200,000 per deal. Is that something that's on your mind? Is outbound, or like what kind of, do you have any plans in place? You said that you're talking to some agencies and shopping around to kind of look at other options. So what kind of options are you considering in terms of ways to fill the gap?
yeah, I'm looking at Facebook ads, Google ads. A lot of people are recommending this, content, blogging, maybe even a YouTube channel, all this stuff that everyone talks about. But I've heard about outbound. I heard that today's age, email outreach and the outbound stuff doesn't work anymore. So I don't know. I don't know. You're the expert. I want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm. So you're interested in doing all of the above: Facebook and Google ads, content marketing, and outbound. You're trying to increase your inbound leads as well as potentially trying outbound, if it makes sense. Or what would it take for you to believe in outbound?
Well, I need to. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be investing in Facebook ads and ads in general. I just want to. I was speaking to some companies. I want to see if they're gonna give me a good deal, if they can convince me to invest. And I heard that your company, and I've also seen some YouTube videos back in the day of Alex Berman. Talks a lot about outbound, so
Oh, you've seen outbound. Okay,
maybe
cool.
there's something
Yeah, yeah. So,
interesting in
so
there.
to make sure I have it all straight, once again, is that we've had a bit of back and forth here. So you want to hit 10 million up from 5, but you're only going to do around 7 because you're dependent on inbound, and so you need to fill the gap of around $3 million with 30 new clients in the next 12 months. You said, actually, as far as timeline goes, you said that the 10 million is by the end of this year, or is that in just the next 12 months?
By the end of this year.
Oh, okay, so that's even faster than I thought. So you want to hit you want to hit 10 million by the end of this year. So that means you actually need more than in 7 months. You need 30 new clients. So that's around 4 per month. That's like one new client a week.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Right on. Um, so you need one new client a week for the next 7 months straight to hit your $10 million goal with a $100,000 average deal size and a 50% close rate on a qualified opportunity. That's around 60 opportunities in the next 7 months. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, what's been stopping you up until this point from breaking out to hit 10 million? Is what's been stopping you from doing outbound or going outside of your inbound network?
Well, nothing. I mean, with referrals, we were easily scaling fast. Everything was going well. But now it's a little unpredictable. I know I'm gonna be hitting 5 million. That's easy. I want to go beyond that. It's just not consistent. It comes, sometimes it goes a lot, sometimes there's nothing. It's very unpredictable. I'm looking for something more predictable, more consistent, and maybe you can help me with that.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd definitely love to do that. More predictable, more consistent. Huh. Interesting. Well, that's something that a lot of our agency clients tell us is that they started growing with referrals um, and they grow to a certain point and then they hit a glass ceiling, if you will. One of our clients was at 5 million and they just could never break past that because something happens where one of their clients drops off, whether it's because that company got a new CTO and they changed the vendor list or whatever. It's out of their control, and they don't have a way to generate the consistent and predictable business. That's usually what we help with. And so that's
Hmm.
that's right up our alley. One thing that I like to know, and this is something that is, I know it sounds corny, but I like to have a why. My why is helping other people, achieve theirs. And so I'd love to understand what motivates you, what your why is, because that would make me excited to know what we're doing here, right? Because $10 million is just a number. So what would you get if you hit $10 million, or what's motivating you to want to do this?
So for me, once we hit a million in revenue, I'll consider us, in a very good position that I can start maybe, venturing into other areas and other industries. And I'm thinking of starting a nonprofit organization so I can help people in need. You know, in order to do that, I need to have this company actually working. And so once we hit 10 million, then I can look to hire someone that takes my place. I'll become a chairman. I'm still in charge of it, but I'm not as focused on that. So I can do some other things in my life. And the faster I can do it, the faster I can do that. Go after my personal
Okay,
goals.
that makes sense. And that's really so. You want to start a nonprofit?
Yeah, nonprofit for animals.
Okay, right
Yeah.
on. Hey, I like animals too. I'm a big dog fan. So you want to start the next like ASPCA? Is that kind of what's going on here? Something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. It's animals that are being abused. We can help bring those cases to court, help those people. You
Yeah.
know, uh, Animals that need shelter and all that stuff.
How did you become more passionate about animals? Was there something in your past, or you had an animal yourself, or what? How'd that happen?
Um, I started at some point realizing that animals feel the same way we do. They have feelings, they have emotions. When you have an animal at home, you can see that your animal sometimes is happy or sad, and you start to understand that they're not just some creature. They're just like you. They're just not as
Yeah.
intelligent as us, but they still feel. So
Yeah.
I want to care for them like they care for us.
Nice. That's very nice of you. That resonates with me. I had a dog that we rescued when I was a kid, and he was the smartest dog. Like his name is Mo. He's a black lab, and actually he used to always break out of the yard and go try and play with the neighborhood dogs all the time. And so we got an electric fence, and he had a collar. And when he would get close to the fence, it would start beeping to let him know that he had to back away. But he figured out that if he could run and jump over the fence before it shocked him, that he could just get out. So he beat that
Wow.
too. He was a smart guy. So yeah. So anyway,
Wow.
so I think I have a pretty good grasp on what you need. You need more opportunities, potentially through Outbound, and you need them soon because of your timeline here. So,
Yeah.
um, I guess a few more questions here. What would happen if you don't hit your goal? I know that it sounds like you're already growing, right? But you're not going to get to 10. If you don't hit your goal, you wouldn't be able to start this nonprofit, correct?
I wouldn't be able to start it if I don't hit the goal this year. I'm not gonna be able to start it next year, but I'll start it later. For me, it's gonna happen whether it's whether I like it or not. It's gonna happen. So
You just
it's
prefer to
it's a
have it
goal
sooner
that
than later.
exactly like I want to
Yeah.
do it now.
Okay. Well, as far as timeline goes, when would you be ready to start having your first opportunities come in if you were to get them?
We can be ready. We're working on some big projects right now, so probably in 2 months.
Two
I just
months.
want to clear everything off the table so we're ready and we have the team ready and
Okay. Well,
everything is
if
set
you're
to
ready to
go.
start, if you're ready for them in 2 months, it's probably best to start outreach in the next week or two because it takes time to ramp up outreach, to book the calls, to take the sales calls, to have the sales process, nurture those deals. So from the day the campaign starts, you probably wouldn't get your first deal closed for the next 2 months or so. So that makes sense for us to move around now to get that going, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, if the pricing is right,
Hmm.
everything's
Yeah,
good to me.
as far as pricing goes, to make you the extra 3 million or so, we could do it for around 250 to 300 grand of an investment.
250.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so that would be about you said 250 to 300 for 3 million.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, looking at it from this perspective, it's not too bad because about 10%. It's just that the number itself is big,
Big.
right? But looking at the return on investment, so I'm thinking, how about we start with something slow,
Hmm.
right? So I want to test it out because I don't know if this works or not. That's the thing. I don't want to be paying $300,000 and not get anything.
Right. So what we could do is we could have a ramp up period where we ramp up in the beginning and have targets to hit. I would say that because you're in such an aggressive you're trying to grow so aggressively. If you want to hit that goal you told me by the end of the year, we do need to start still somewhat aggressively. But in the plan, we can bake in targets to hit in the first few months to make sure we're on track. And if we don't hit those, then we stop. And if we do, we continue. Would that work for you?
The first few months, how many months is that?
We could have a 3 month goal to hit, 3 month targets, and then we can go on from
Okay.
there.
Okay, so we have a goal for 3 months. If you don't hit that, what happens? We stop?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and what if there's no result, nothing happens?
No results.
It's just, yeah, like let's say, how many did you say before? Four opportunities a month? How many?
You're gonna need around 8 opportunities a month to hit your
Eight
goal because
opportunities.
you need to close 4 deals per month.
Okay. And that's gonna be eight opportunities. So every month you'll be getting me eight.
Hmm. The first
Okay,
month it won't be 8. We have to ramp up to that, but
I see.
we'll go up from there. Well, I'll show you in the plan what we can do. But if we can make you the 3 million for around 250 to 300 grand, would that work for you? Those numbers?
Yeah, number wise, that works.
Okay, great. And what would you want to see in the plan? Because I make them all custom for all of my clients, and so I want to show you what you would like to see. So what do you want to see in the plan that would make you feel comfortable to move forward?
I need to make sure that first of all, I need proof that this works. Okay, so that would be examples of case studies that with companies you worked before that are similar to us, targeting the same companies. I want to speak to references. I want to actually talk to them. And yeah, I mean, if you have that and it's actually convincing, there's no reason for me to not invest.
Okay, so you want case studies that are similar to yours and references, and that's all?
Yeah, and kind of the pricing and why the pricing is the way it is, everything's fine.
So pricing, so you want to see numbers as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Pricing numbers. Okay. Is there anything else you want to see in the plan?
That's it for me.
Okay.
If you think anything else would be
Sure.
important to know, then
Yeah, yeah. I'll come with that. So just as a summary, and after this call, I'm going to send you an email to follow up to confirm all of my notes are correct, so that I come to the next call with a proper plan that's based on the accurate information. But from what I understand, you're currently on track to do 7 million, but you want to hit 10. That means you need to get an extra 30 clients in the next 7 months because each one's around 100 grand. So that's about 4 deals per month. And with a 50% close rate, you need 8 opportunities, qualified opportunities per month, which we can do for you with Outbound to make you $3 million for around 300 grand per year. And the reason why you're not on track to do that yourself is because you're relying on inbound and you want predictable, consistent business. And you've been investigating things like Facebook, Google, content, etc. But you've been watching Alex for a while, and so you're interested in trying Outbound. And so if you want to start getting these opportunities and close deals in the next 2 months, then we need to start probably in the next 2 weeks or so. So I'm going to put together a plan with case studies as well as process and numbers, etc. that shows you what we're doing. And I can show that to you sometime next week. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works.
Awesome. Checking my calendar now. Do you have availability next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern?
Next Thursday, I'm not sure because I'm not the one that books these meetings.
Mhm.
So I'll tell my assistant to get in touch with you, and you
Okay,
can
sure.
book a time.
Yeah, that reminds me actually. I wanted to ask, what's your dynamic like over there with the team? Do you have any co-found? Like, what is your team dynamic looking like?
Well, I'm the one that makes the decisions. I you know still consult with my team, see what they think. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that takes the decisions.
Mhm. Well, I'd love to show them as well the plan to make sure that they're comfortable with it too. Would you be open to having them on the next call?
I don't think they're gonna. I'm gonna take the plan that you give me. I'm gonna show it to them. I'm gonna get their opinion, but I'm the one that if you convince me, you have the deal.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what they think. It's
Okay.
just I need to be convinced.
Sure. Well, as
I
far
mean,
as
I'm
sorry,
the
go
one
ahead.
that got us to 5
7 million,
million, so
five,
I'm,
seven,
I'm the one
yeah.
that's gonna get us 10 million.
Fair enough, man. Well, I'd love to know that on time before we jump off to eliminate the back and forth because I know it can be hard to schedule. I mean, we had to do a lot of back and forth just to get this call booked, and it was, it took a while. So, um, do you happen to have, if you could just check your calendar for me and let me know a few times that you have available next week?
Let's push it to 2 weeks from now,
Okay.
since this is something.
It's on the horizon.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
push it 2 weeks from now. Let's put it on a Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay. The
Yeah,
25th.
sure.
And 2 p.m. works for you?
2 p.m. works.
All right, cool. I just sent the invite over. I know that you have something to jump to in the next 4 minutes. I'll let you go. But Katan, it was a pleasure talking to you. Good luck with the real estate investing, and I'm looking forward to showing you the plan.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Alrighty. So, what do you think?
Good. I think you didn't ask me about the industry I'm targeting.
Hmm.
So the clients I'm looking for, right? The industries and everything. So that stuff. Who I want to speak, who I will be speaking with, type of decision maker I want to be speaking with.
I usually wait. I actually usually don't talk about that until the onboarding call,
I see.
or maybe in the proposal. But because for me, like the way I look at it is our targeting is going to be based on their case studies, which I can just check on the site. So that's information that I can figure out on the internet as opposed to talking to them and taking time from them. And so I'm more concerned about deal size, close rate, and goals. And then
I
the
see.
industries that they want to go after, I usually tell them that we should try their case studies anyway. So
Hmm.
I usually avoid that on the calls purposely.
I see.
But
I see.
yeah, so that's why I avoided that.
I see. Well, sometimes because sometimes a company could be doing something and now they want to try something different. So
Yeah,
they say, okay, we have this new product, we want to start selling to these people. And
yeah,
if you go to the presentation and say, oh, this is what we're gonna do, these are the ones we're gonna target, and we don't target them. Let's say, you know, alcohol or something. Hey, wait a second, we don't do that. So
yeah. That makes sense. That
it
makes sense.
it
Yeah, I could ask about that
that's
in the goals section. Usually when I ask in the goals section, people if their priority is who they're gonna work with, they'll tell me.
yeah,
Or if it's just
yeah,
monetary, they'll just say it's monetary. But I probably should
I see.
ask any specific industries in mind
Hmm.
or something like
Hmm.
that, and then just see what they say.
Yeah, yeah, that
All
works.
right, cool.
And another thing is, I was talking at some point and you interrupted me. It
Yeah,
was it was towards the end.
I
Yeah,
think that was a lag. I'll have to watch the recording again.
I was like,
I thought you were done talking, so I was like, oh shit, I
I
interrupted him.
see.
I hate it. When I do the clients, I'm like, fuck. I do that a lot. I need to work on it. Like
Yeah.
I'll think that they're done talking and I'll open my mouth and then I realize they're not, so I stop. But then they know I want to say something, so they're like, oh, go ahead, and I'm like, oh no,
Mhm.
go ahead, because then you're cutting off
Yeah.
the information coming out of their mouth, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And last thing I would say, last thing is I had a very kind of calm personality, very S personality, and you were kind of more energetic.
yeah.
You didn't match me as maybe
Ah
as you
man,
should have,
yeah. I
right?
wasn't
So you
thinking
should
about
have
matching you. That's a good point.
get a bit going a little slower, let me talk, let me, just match my tonality.
Yeah, that's something I need to work on. Guys, just so you know, selling the personality types is very important. Um, and matching their tonality and just how they speak will help them feel like you understand them better. I'm naturally much more upbeat and energetic, I guess. Katan's much more calm and relaxed, and so I was probably uh, being a bit too myself on the call and being a little too energetic, and so maybe if I slowed down a bit and spoke more like this, then it would have been a bit better for him to resonate with me. So you need to kind of understand how the person's speaking to you quickly and adopt your tone of voice to match that. So if I was asking my questions like this on the call, Katan may have felt a bit more comfortable. But I was doing my normal thing where I'm talking like a freaking maniac over here. So that's good. I think overall though, I extracted all the information that I need, like to put together a perfect plan. I know what you want. I know what your motivation is. I know what'll happen if you don't do it. I know how many deals you need. I know how you want to do it. I know when you want it. I know your budget. You agreed to it. I know what you want to see in the plan. I know that you're a decision maker. I've got everything that I need. So now, guys, this is what you need to have in your notes. Notice that when I was talking to him, I filled out everything here. I think that one that I missed actually is I could have mentioned um, when I was talking about. I asked you for your context and goals. One thing that you're supposed to say is I've already researched you and your company on the internet, and I can see that you work with these companies. Da da da. It shows that you did your research. I didn't do that. I just jumped right into context and goals. So the next time, if I could do it again during the elevator pitch, I would say, so that with that being said, I've already looked into your company and seen your case studies with these companies and what you do, but I'd love to get your internal perspective on things that I couldn't figure out on the internet. So something like that is that because sometimes people, first of all, if you don't say that, they'll think that you didn't do your due diligence, which is not good. If you say that, it shows that you did your research. The other advantage of doing that is sometimes people will just talk about like their services and their case studies for the first 5 minutes of the call when that's information you could already know beforehand. So if you can skip that and get right to like the nitty gritty of business stuff, that's much better to get to. So that's my own feedback for myself. And then I agree with the personality thing. Other than that, though, I think I did a pretty good job personally on that discovery call.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a prospect, I mean, I would have bought and I would have went to the presentation and
That's the
everything
thing,
looked
guys.
good.
And that's the thing, guys. When you run the discovery call properly, they sell themselves. Like this guy, look, he told me he wants $10 million. He told me he wants it fast. He told me that he's been dependent on inbound. He told me how many clients he wants. He told me his average deal size, his close rate. What he really wants is predictable and consistent revenue. That's why I have this in bold. Um, he told me what his underlying motivation is, what's stopping him, how he wants to get there. So now, as a salesman, now that you have all this information, all you have to do is come back to him with a plan that just shows him exactly what he said. You're going to make him $3 million extra with 30 new deals. This is the timeline. This is the budget. This is the ramp up period. He had an objection about what happens if we don't get results. I pretty easily countered that by just saying we'll have a ramp up period with targets to hit, and that's pretty simple. And then moved on from that. So I'll put that in the plan. And he even told me what he wants to see in the plan. So everything is here to close the deal. You just got to feed back to him what they already told you, and this is the example. It's kind of like when you're at a watch store. If you tell the salesperson what kind of watch you're looking for, and they come back to you with the perfect watch, it's like the dials are right, the straps right, the face is right, the colors, everything's good. You're gonna want to buy it, even if you don't have the money. You're gonna want to buy it. So if you run your discovery call properly and you extract the right information, when you put together the plan for them, if it's the perfect plan, they'll want to buy it. I had a guy yesterday, to conclude here, that I had a similar discovery call. He's a perfect prospect. something had changed for him financially in between our calls, so he no longer had the budget on hand to invest. But he loved the plan so much that he was talking about taking out a loan, and to be able to work with us. Which I told him, if you have to put your livelihood at stake to do this, I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's not a good fit. But the point is, when you have a plan that's so good, budget should not be an objection. If they want it, they're going to figure out a way to pay for it, whether it's a loan or something else. Not saying that you should do that, but just saying if you do a good enough job, that's what will happen. So hopefully you got value from today's video, guys. Please like it if you did. That really helps the channel and helps other people find the video and helps other people learn and grow. And I also have a lead generation training document that you can grab in the description. All you have to do is put in your email, and I should be selling this, guys, and I might raise the prices on this soon, but right now it's free. All you have to do is put your email in, and we'll show you how to generate leads on autopilot. It's step by step. It's information that I haven't shared anywhere else. They're very, very simple videos to follow. They're so simple you can even give it to a virtual assistant and have them generate your leads for you for very cheap in the background. So very valuable. And there's a few tricks in there, like how to find emails, how to validate emails that most people don't know how to do. So I highly recommend that. But that's about it. Take it easy, guys. Peace.